Voldar, we are assigning you to a certain planet Earth. We want you to study the ways of the Earthlings. You will leave in the morning. Is that clear?
But I don't know anything about Earthlings. I'm not prepared for this.
But you are the only K-9 anthropologist we have.
But...
No buts, Voldar.
Then I guess I leave for planet Earth in the morning.
Houston, we have contact leaving the planet Noros, headed to planet
Gorson's sending this K-9 anthropologist to Earth, but it does not matter.
Voldar, Norosian K-9 anthropologist.
In Behind the Green Video.
Brought to you by Kirkwood Community College. Kirkwood, start here and go anywhere.
An argument by many reasons is an inductive argument that gives a bunch of reasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., to support a general conclusion. Or really any conclusion. Don't worry about the general part, unless it's General Musleus of the Glippity-Gloppian Federation, of course, then you better be worried. Here's an example of argument by many reasons. Premise 1, I feel exhausted. Premise 2, I spent yesterday with Fred, who was just getting over the stomach bug. Premise 3, I feel nauseous, very nauseous, like I'm going to puke. Premise 4, I crave grass. Conclusion, therefore, I got a stomach bug. Checklist for argument by many reasons. Are all premises true or acceptable? Are the premises relevant to the conclusion? Do the premises provide enough evidence, grounds for believing the conclusion? Is there counter evidence, evidence against the conclusion that is being ignored? Now, if in an argument by example, the author's goal is to give a counterexample to a claim to show it's false, then that author will only need one example, the counterexample, that works to prove the claim is false. That's a case where an argument by example only needs one example. If you were trying to refute the claim that everyone who got COVID between 2019 and 2023 died of COVID, you'd only need one example of your counterexample of a person who got COVID between those years and who did not die to prove it's false. That everyone who got COVID between 2019 and 2023 died of COVID. Counterexample, Tom Hanks got COVID in 2020 and he did not die of COVID. Well, Voldar, can you help me with this green sheet about inductive arguments?
But you betrayed me.
Join me, Voldar, and we'll rule Kirkwood Community College together. Argument by analogy compares an off-topic case with the case at hand to get you to reason the same way about the case at hand. Here's an example of argument by analogy. Premise 1, Teddy the dog is frightened by the lady who shakes her umbrella. Premise 2, Barky the dog is like Teddy the dog in that both have a fraidy-cat disposition. Conclusion, therefore Barky the dog will be afraid of the lady who shakes her umbrella. Checklist for argument by analogy. Is the first premise true or acceptable? In premise 2, are the two things being compared alike enough to justify you in believing the conclusion? Argument about causes. Any argument, including arguments by example, that claims A is the cause of B. Example of argument about causes. Premise 1. I ate a sandwich at the Kirkwood Cafe and then I got violently ill. Conclusion. Therefore, that Kirkwood sandwich caused me to get violently ill. Checklist for argument about causes. Does the argument propose what seems to be the most plausible likely cause? If it doesn't propose what seems to be the most likely cause, does it explain how the cause it is proposing would lead to the effect? Does the argument ignore the possibility of A being correlated with B but not being the cause of B? Does it ignore the possibility of B causing A rather than A causing B?
I've got to warn Noros that this is a false flag operation by the Clibbity-Cloppians.
Example of argument to the best explanation. Premise 1. A white ball just came flying out from behind that van. Conclusion. Therefore, somebody's playing ball back behind that van. And checklist for argument to the best explanation. If you reflect or research, can you find a better, more plausible explanation than the one that's being offered in this argument?
I must destroy the green sheet.